Hello, my name is Charlie Blackwell, Product Development Manager at Suominen Corporation, and today I'm going to talk about Think Portfolio and its use in Suominen's efficient global scale R&D portfolio management. So, first, Suominen in brief. Suominen is a non-wovens manufacturer that produces rolled goods. These rolled goods are then sold to others for converting into wipes and other applications. We are the front runner in nonwovens innovation and sustainability, and we have sales in both Europe and the Americas, with Europe contributing about 1/3 of total sales, and the Americas the other 2/3. We have 8 production plants on 3 continents, with 4 being in Europe, 3 in the United States, and 1 in Brazil. To give you a scope of the size of Suominen, our net sales in 2020 was close to 460 million euro, and we have almost 700 professionals. One thing that I would like to highlight here is that the share of new products sold was about 25%. That is indicative of the amount of development that occurs within the company. A little bit about the history of Suominen. The variety of plants that we mentioned before came from different histories. If you look at the inoculant plant, it began in 1898, and then later it was acquired and eventually became the Suominen Corporation, part of the Suominen Corporation. Similar route of being independent, then being acquired by Ostrom, and then being acquired by Suominen happened with the other plants. So you can see that all the plants have a very diverse history before becoming part of the current Suominen portfolio. Our organization is made up of 8 different functions, as you can see by the gray bars going horizontally. And then we also have 2 business areas, one in Europe and then the other, the Americas. The 5-year strategy of Suominen ending in 25, we are the leaders in the spun lace nonwovens market. And then in addition, the COVID-19 pandemic has increased volume sales, and we expect this to remain high. The other trend that is occurring right now is that both legislation and consumer behavior is demanding more sustainable products, and we are positioned to meet this growing demand. As far as the value chain, Suominen, as mentioned before, is a non-wovens rolled goods manufacturer. We take the fibers, produce the rolled goods, and then they are sold to converters, where they are then converted into wipes and other materials. The strategy of Suominen highlights the importance of development. The mission is enabling our customers to win by creating quality nonwovens. Our vision, front runner for nonwovens, innovation and sustainability. The strategy, we will grow by creating innovative and more sustainable nonwovens for our customers and improve our profitability through more efficient operations and a high-performance culture. Our main focus is on wipes. We will strengthen our capabilities in Europe and Americas and evaluate opportunities in Asia. With our portfolio management, we are able to accomplish the values as well, which is ownership, teamwork, performance, and integrity. And then you can see how we address the strategic focus areas of sustainability leadership and differentiate with innovation and commercial excellence. So in summary, Suominen manufacture nonwovens as rolled goods that others convert into wipes and other applications. We have 8 locations on 3 continents with net sales of almost 460 million euros. and we have nearly 700 professionals. Our vision is to be the front runner for innovation of nonwovens and also sustainability. So, R&D usage of thinking portfolio. We first want to talk about Suominen's overall project management. Our portfolio needs were one, to have transparency and openness for the management of projects. Two, structure for managing projects and portfolios. Three, harmonization of project management on the corporate level. As you can see, Suominen is very diverse in the functions and geographic locations and history of its locations. And four, increase communication between functions and between stages. The targeted outcomes were for project management, doing the project the correct way, for portfolio management, doing the right projects at the right time, and then in the end, maximize the total corporate benefits. Why thinking portfolio? Well, for R&D, we saw that there were going to be immediate benefits for the product development managers. And these benefits also helped in the adoption of the software by the product managers. One, there's less data entry. We enter the data in one place, and then it's automatically imported to all the associated documents, charts, etc. And then two, there's less reporting. Updates on projects in the portfolio are immediately reflected. There are also benefits for the executive management. That includes continuously updated projects. That includes the timeline, resources, budgets, risks, status, and scope changes. It can be looked at a portion of portfolio. You can look at it by geographic region or a particular project. Also, it's coherent information. With this harmonization, we're able to have a standard format where you have the same questions asked of everyone, regardless of the site location or the function. So it makes it very easy for people to locate the information that they are seeking. Also, you can create tailored searches of accurate information, not information that was valid 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, but it is what the current state is. Other reason for choosing Thinking Portfolio was the customized software. With Thinking Portfolio, we can have it customized while we maintain this harmonization, but also we're able to maintain this. We're able to improve the software, to improve the user experience, and to adapt to processes as they change. In addition, we have the potential of integrating this software with other Suominen systems, such as SAP. In the end, the software was capable of managing all projects across Suominen. It allowed us to have the customization for different functionalities, such as the R&D projects, which I will talk about more. And then also, Thinking Portfolio had user experience that was positive. So quickly, the structure of Suominen Portfolio, we have 5 different types of projects: cost savings, capital investments, research and development, process and IT, and strategy. We're going to focus on the research and development portion. And in the research and development portion, we have 3 different types of projects. It's innovation group, projects and programs, and we're going to focus on projects as they are all quite similar. I would like to highlight that we have two R&D administrators, and then we also have two R&D approvers who have the rights and privileges to create projects. Being able to navigate the portfolio, we have all of these projects, as you can imagine, for Suominen portfolio, but it's able to be easily filtered. We can filter by the type of project, such as R&D, and that's just by pulling down the drop down and choosing it. And this can be done by pulling down and filtering any of the columns that are displayed. There are also additional columns that can be filtered by using the advanced filtering option. Also in the advanced filtering option, you can choose the Boolean operator or instead of and. The other benefit for navigation or feature in navigation is the filters. If you want to filter something on a regular basis, you can save that filter, such as if you want to look at the R&D portfolio, you can do that, create a name, and save that filter. Or even as a project manager, if I want to look at my projects, I can further filter by the project manager. And I can set that to be my default view so that every time I log into Thinking Portfolio, I see my projects immediately. I can always choose select all to see more projects and then filter again. Filters can also be made public so that others can use the filters. Now I'd like to talk about some of the feedback quickly and then work our way back forward. So in the end, some of the feedback was the greatest benefit is to our transparency. Do not need to enter data multiple times in multiple places. Once data is entered into the system, an automated process updates all locations that information would have been needed. Reports, charts, documents, etc. One can see the most updated information about the entire portfolio down to the details of each contributing project. Correct attention will be given to the correct projects at the correct times, thereby improving the efficiency of product development and the profitability of Suominen. So let's go back and talk about R&D projects. With the creation of the project, it's only done with the approval of a director. As I mentioned before, we have only two people who have the privilege to create the projects. This was important because we maintain control over the information that is put into Thinking Portfolio. We have only 4 persons who have the capability to create these projects, and that keeps the portfolio clean. If we did not do that, the number of projects in the system would not be accurate. Persons would perhaps put in projects to be used as placeholders. However, as soon as the project is entered into Thinking Portfolio, it is immediately displayed across the portfolio, and the portfolio would not be correct or accurate. Also, each project contributes to the portfolio. There are no pretend projects. So if someone were to create a project that was a placeholder and they entered in resources or budgets, that would be immediately reflected in the portfolio. For the completion of tabs and panels, this is very important. This is secondary to the creation of the projects in order to be able to have an accurate portfolio. So we started off by highlighting that the data that goes into the projects must be as accurate as possible. The reason is the projects are only as accurate as the data that's put into the tabs and panels. Building upon that, The portfolio will only be as accurate as the projects that makes it up. Each project has 11 tabs, and within each tab, there are several panels where you're able to enter your data. For example, the timing tab has 4 different panels. They include the project phase and schedule, stage and gate status, R&D stage and gate documents, key milestones. As you can see here, you have the 4 panels on the left-hand side of the timing tab. And then here you can see that we've populated data for the planned dates of the stage and gate. It's automatically imported across the platform. And when you select one of the stage and gate documents, such as the project plan approval, you can see in the bottom line here on the right-hand side that the plan timeline is already populated. The stage and gate documentation was something that was already established within the R&D group. And in Thinking Portfolio, we modeled that prior process. That was with the use of the customization that Thinking Portfolio offers and affords. And that facilitates the ease in user adoption of the product development managers. As spoken of before, much of the information that is put into the panels is automatically transferred into other locations such as charts, documents, and reports. This has the benefit of reduce and the elimination of entering the data in multiple places, which eliminates zero add value activities. And then also it eliminates the propagation of untraceable errors into multiple systems. So you can imagine if you had the same information in systems A, B, C, and D, and then there was a change made to B, you may also realize that you need to make that change in C and D. However, A may be left out. Now a person would not know if B is correct or A is correct, and that's another time consumption that's unnecessary and has been eliminated by this system. Also, Thinking Portfolio allows the changes or updates to automatically go throughout a project or portfolio. So for instance, in project A, we have one given project manager. However, at some part through the progression of the project manager is switched. You would go to the key information tab, go down to the project manager and switch the project manager. And it would automatically go throughout all the systems, every location where the project manager is listed in the project and within the portfolio. So you get that immediately. Also, if you want to change the name of a project, you would go to the key information tab and do the same thing, and immediately it's reflected in the entire portfolio. Also, there's the benefit of the increased consistency and ease of planning. Prior to this, we had multiple systems, and in the different systems, things such as the breakdown of hours or forecasts were done in different ways. In one location, it was done by month. In another location, it may have been by quarter. And in another location, it may have been by phase. The phase may have gone from February of one year until August of the same year. Being able to decipher if there are any changes or corrections that need to be made in July or in August could be very confusing and consume a lot of time to be able to get it correctly done, and then also changing it in every system to reflect it accurately. With that, with Thinking Portfolio, we no longer have to do that. And then we have a better resolution of data. At all times, the current state of the portfolio should be immediately available. We've also helped in the adoption of the software by continually our monthly updates, but using Thinking Portfolio for those updates. Here you can see that you have a quick view of the project's timeline in the top panel. And then in the next panel, you have text boxes for updates and additional information. And then in the third panel, you have stoplights to display the ratings of 8 different attributes. These are used during the group meetings to present our updates. This eliminates the need of producing additional documents, such as PowerPoint slides that everyone would need to produce and then collect it and put together into one large document. Is immediately available. And it also ensures coherency and also allows rapid assessment. One can look at the quality of each project quickly by looking at the stoplight information. So in summary, Thinking Portfolio is used on a portfolio of more than 210 projects and programs in our global portfolio, which includes 5 different types of projects. Within R&D, we have over 80 entries, including more than 50 ideas managed in the innovation group. And the benefits of using Thinking Portfolio are that we have the saving of time for data entry, while also increasing the accuracy and availability of data. The customization of R&D while maintaining project harmonization, continuous engagement with Thinking Portfolio. We're able to routinely meet with Thinking Portfolio, and as we have updates that will increase user adoption, and then as we notice errors or corrections that need to be made, as small as typos or as large as a piece of data not being imported to an additional location, we're able to have those meetings with Thinking Portfolio and increase the effectiveness of the software. And finally, we have a way of working that increases user adoption by having the monthly status updates and then also using it as the only way for stage and gate processes to get updates from our project managers. We are doing that directly from the software and encouraging the product development managers to use the software right away. So that's the conclusion of my presentation. If there are any questions or comments, feel free to contact me at charlie.blackwell@SwamininCorp.com. And also feel free to learn more about Suominen and follow on Twitter and LinkedIn. Thank you.